Basically what this tool does is it allows you to, in a single pane, connect to Lync, Exchange, and also Exchange 365. So you can manage users and all their Lync related attributes in a single place. It also allows you to compare users and match users. So just looking at the window over there, you'll see there are 3 panes. The very far left is the connection details. Over there you see an option to add the FQDNs of the DC, the Exchange, and the Lync frontends. That's of course all the on-site connections for on-prem. Just below the checkboxes which tell the backend which servers to fire off PS sessions to. The status of those are mentioned just to the right of that. And of course our connect button. Just below that we have a connect to Office 365 box. You'll notice the Lync component is grayed out. That's still in dev. The Exchange component is fully functional. The background events box there is a window in which I'm dumping some of the events that are going on, just to give the administrator a bit of a feel of what's going on whilst they're using this GUI. If you look at the center panel, that's user 1 panel, and the right panel is user 2. These panels are identical, these 2 panes, and the idea of having 2 is really just so you can line up users side by side and you can copy them and match them and so compare and so on. And that was fundamentally the idea behind that. And realistically, you only need to use 1 pane unless you're actually comparing users. So let me show you how this works. First up, you need to put in the names of the servers you're going to connect to. I've already done that. I've pre-checked Exchange and Lync. I will connect that now. And once I go connect, I get a request for my domain credentials, which I'll put in just there. You'll notice, as those credentials are being validated, that the box next to Exchange has changed from not connected to loading Exchange commands. So like I said before, fundamentally what we're doing here is we're firing off PS session to Exchange. We'll be importing those Exchange modules and allowing us to do Exchange commands. There you go, Exchange connected. Now we're firing off a connection to Lync. Now that we're connected, we're ready to start managing users. We'll go into the user 1 field, and I'll put in the name of a user over there, myself. And we have the option to do a number of things. These are all the control buttons for the Lync. So firstly there we can find a user based on the name we've put in there. We can clear all the boxes. We can add a new user, change, copy, delete. So how that actually works is if you wanted to add a new user, you'd fill out all the attributes required and simply click add. If you wanted to change a user, you'd find the user first, make the change in these boxes, and then click change to commit the change. Arguably that button could be called commit. If you wanted to copy a user, I'll demonstrate that a little bit later. That's what that button's for. And then of course removing a user and the UM in one swoop would be done over there. So let's have a look. There you go, user found. You'll notice there that my personal attributes, which are the unique attributes to this user, are set in the personal attributes box. Those will be unique on a per user basis. We've got the common attributes below, which is all the policies and things that are very common to other users as well. And then of course attributes right below. Let's start by something simple like setting the PIN. I check that box, I can set the PIN over there, and by going change I would set the PIN. I'll do that just now. You'll see the changes. Of course it runs through to check if there were any other changes as well, and done. PIN set. It'll come back in a second to tell me that the changes have been committed and they're now valid. Very good. If I go and find my user again, you won't see the PIN info there because realistically you can't really see that stuff from the administrator's view. If I wanted to set a private line, or if I want to change as a SIP domain, don't really want to do that. If I want to edit, perhaps I want to take off the extension, that wasn't something I was using, and perhaps I wanted a private line. I'll use a fictitious number. Even if I wanted to change some policies, perhaps I wanted to stick myself on national only and perhaps change a PIN policy. Maybe we'll change that to photo control because I'm a naughty boy and I keep changing my photos. And persistent chat, not for you, sir. Right, if I went change now, all those changes would be collected and sent off to the back end. We'll wait for it, and it should say ready in a second or two. Very good. Now, if we go find again, in fact, let's go clear so you can see that that's in fact what's going on. So we've cleared all the search boxes. We go find, and what should we find? Private line's been set, and all the attributes for that Lync user have now been set. If I wanted to copy, because now I can't remember what attributes I had before, but I do know the attributes I had before were very similar to this user over here. So what I'll do is user box 2, I'll go and find this user. That user's attributes are loaded. I'd now like to match my common attributes to this user's attributes, so simply do that by going copy. You would have noticed they've changed. I'll just give them a quick once over. This is actually not what I want for my user, so it's similar to but not the same. Okay, the rest I'm happy with, and I'd like to remove that private line. I'd also like to put back my extension number, which was over there, and go change. Now I haven't actually touched user 2, I just used him as a template. Right, changes are almost completed. Just wait for the ready and we can continue. Very good, so we've cleared, do another find, and you'll see that the user details have been updated accordingly. And so that's really, as I said, user 1, user 2 panes are identical. It just allows me to compare and copy. So down the bottom there you see the UM attributes box, and you can tell that my user account is UM enabled on premise, not in Office 365. And that's my primary SMTP address, my extension, and so on and so on. If I was enabled in 365 without the 365 Exchange connector enabled, then you would see a different case, and I might just show that to you in a minute. But if I wanted to disable my account for UM, I'd simply go disable. I'd get a pop-up box that says, are you sure you want to disable? Of course, we'll say yes, and off we go. And little alert over there telling you unified messaging is being disabled, and that's done. We can go and clear, find my user. You'll notice that there's no more UM attributes. Right, so to re-enable my user for UM, I'd need to put in my primary SMTP address over there. As well as an extension number. I'd need a UM mailbox policy, and that's all. I don't need a hosted voicemail policy because I'm not hosted in any way. I'll go enable, and you'll see it sets a message in the background there. Unified messaging enabled is now completed. So I can come here and find my user again. And you'll notice how my UM attributes have been repopulated, and this is an indication that my user account is now re-enabled for unified messaging. If I now enter this user who is not UM enabled, I might just grab this opportunity to show you a hosted UM user, because we're in a hybrid situation on this particular platform. So I will just put in the name of a user who is on hosted UM. Quick find. Now what you'll see straight away is that, of course, this user's got a whole lot of global default settings, but down below here you'll notice the Office 365 boxes. The radio button has been checked and the hosted voicemail policy is in there. So this can be set, of course, from here. However, the two parts of enabling a user in Office 365 for UM is adding them with a mailbox policy and extension, and also adding the voicemail policy over there to your Lync user. So how would we do that? Well, you'll recall that I said I have currently not got the supported environment of hosted Exchange over there, as well as Exchange on-prem. So what I might just do is, at this point in time, is connect to Exchange in 365. Check the box, go connect. I get my logon box over there. Put in my username. And my password, and we should be loading those modules. Now what's going to happen at this point is, although the Exchange connector for on-prem is connected, I will no longer be able to query that Exchange environment because I'm now redirecting 365. Very good. So I still have the same environment as before, and I'm simply going to go find, and what I should find now that I'm connected to Office 365 is I should find the primary SMTP address, the extensions in the mailbox for this user, user 2, and let's have a look what happens. Very good. You can see now, just by connecting to 365, I now have the option to manage that user from here. And the enable and disable buttons work from here as well. There is one thing I must mention. The assumption is that this user is already enabled for email, for Exchange Mail in 365. So we're just enabling the UM mailbox. So what's the bit that's not supported? If you have on-premise UM as well as cloud UM, that's not supported. So my user, which is on-prem UM, if I go find now, you'll see that the tables have reversed. You can tell I'm on-prem, but you cannot tell any of my policies. Thank you for watching my tutorial on the usage of Lync User Manager.